So unfortunately, when I made the meta tier list, we didn't know that we were getting a Mathmech and Sky Striker cards, and I think that it is completely huge. I think that this is incredible. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my top 5 meta decks in Master Duel, post-Heroic Warriors, and the new Mathmech and Striker cards that we got. Now, as we already know, Despia is seen as one of the best decks. Fortunately enough, the Forbidden list that just came around for January 2022 put Aluberta 2. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that it really doesn't do anything, but it actually does. Lowering the consistency of a deck will always hurt, especially when it goes against some of the better decks in Master Duel, and then over a prolonged period of time. Despia got weaker. It is no longer the best deck in the room. I think that will go to, or was going to, Runic, which actually is an incredible Yu-Gi-Oh deck. I hate Runic, and I know a lot of people, they hate Runic as well, right? Like, Card of Demise going to 2 definitely did hinder it just a little bit, but the Runic strategy is still going to be pretty much at full power in Master Duel, so I think that is also another one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, we've talked about those decks over and over again. I don't think it's fair to keep talking about the same garbage, trash decks that we don't want to see in Master Duel anymore, right? Like, all right, I mean, they're not trash, but still, I don't think anybody wants to talk about those decks. Let's talk about the actual decks that I think are going to be on a huge change. So, Sun Avalon actually gets ridiculously good, guys. Sun Avalon, for the people that don't know, is a plant deck that is built off of 1 card link summoning. That's right, with just 1 card, this deck can create full combo. And Sunseed Genius Loki just so happens to be a level 1 normal plant monster, meaning that not only can you play 3 copies of Loki, you can play 3 copies of a card called Unexpected Die, and then you can also play a card called 1 for 1, which will allow you to be able to have 7 ways, just off the top, 7 ways to be able to special summon Loki to your side of the field. And that's not including Lone Fire Blossom, which gives you 10 ways, meaning that you'll have an over, I think it's 80% chance to draw one of them, at least one. It's crazy. This full 1 card combo also uses the new Therion cards that ends on a board like Therion King Regulus. With some other disruptions, it's extremely powerful. But the best thing about it is that this entire combo that you would make with the Sun Avalon strategy requires just 1 card, meaning that the remaining 5 or 6 cards in your hand can be disruptive hand traps, be able to stop some of the top decks like Despia or the Runic strategy. Imagine having like other cards in your hand that you can discard for Chaos Hunter to just clap them up. I think that Sun Avalon is genuinely one of the best decks in Master Duel, guys, especially because now it has insulated support through the Therion monsters, and Lily Borea allows you to summon Regulus, which can insulate your combo. It's extremely good. Now, another deck that I have, I actually think that this will be a game changer more than anything else. This deck is actually incredibly insane. Mathmech got 1 card, just 1 card, that's all they needed to be one of the better decks in Master Duel, and here's why. I actually made a video a couple of months back when Master Duel came out for TCG players in a set named Power of the Elements, and it's because Mathmech can essentially search any normal trap card from the deck to their hand. There is a combo in where you can search cards like Dimensional Barrier from your deck to your hand to be able to stop Despia. You can search so many other great trap cards to be able to just completely stop your opponent. Actually, I don't even think it's a normal trap card. I think you can search Rival of the Warlords too. And I'm pretty sure you can search spell cards as well. I might be wrong on that one, but it can search spell and trap cards. This means that you don't have to dedicate multiple resources to being able to stop so many different decks. Imagine just playing 1 copy of Dimensional Barrier in your deck because you can search it and then completely shut down a Despia player. Imagine being able to search 1 copy of Rival of Warlords whenever you want to be able to completely shut down a player that plays multiple types. Mathmech not only does that extremely well, but it's also a loan of the Cyber strategy decks. This deck can make 1 card Access Code Talkers that are 5,600 and can attack twice, but its best part is that it is a really good XC deck. The best thing about Mathmech is that it allows you to keep on playing forward, summoning monsters like Trishula on your opponent's side of the field. Not really Trishula, but its own Mathmech version, which can get rid of cards on your opponent's hand and field. This deck is actually one of the better decks in Master Duel because not only does it lend all into the Cyberse stratosphere, it also is a deck that can search those really good counter cards from your deck to your hand. And since it is a Cyberse 1-2 card strategy type deck, you can still play a ton of disruptive cards to be able to stop your opponent. It's extremely flexible and very, very good. Now, if we had to pick another strategy, which is crazy because I think before TCG Sky Strikers was a lot better than Master Duel and OCG Sky Strikers, but now I think both the TCG and the OCG just might be looking at Master Duel and saying, yo, that's kind of a good deck. Sky Strikers have gotten so much better. There's so many routes to go with it. The Runic route allows you to get spell cards in your graveyard to trigger off your Sky Strikers as well as draw cards. The Spellbook route allows you to get so many powerful Spellbook cards from your deck to your hand, but now the Pure route gets only stronger because of Sky Strikers linkage. Linkage allowing you to turn your Sky Striker monsters into any other monster in the battle phase creates situations where you can OTK, especially because of the Forbidden List now. Oh my God, guys. The Forbidden List bringing Sky Striker Kagari to 2 and still having Mobilize engaged to 2. It just might be the sweet spot that we were all looking for the Sky Striker deck to be very competitive, but not overbearing. Now, if I had to pick a fifth deck, this one's going to be tough. I don't know what I would pick for a fifth deck just yet. Obviously, I think Swordsoul is easily one of the better decks. Swordsoul is ridiculously good and probably should be considered. The Long Yuan hit still hurts a lot to me, but even something like Swordsoul Runic, which can gain the effects of your Swordsoul or of your Swordsoul Xingyin to banish cards on your opponent's field and graveyard anytime you activate a Runic, it's pretty much just Xingyin control. I think that that's really good. Jay War said Scareclaw, which I think is good, but not good enough to be considered one of the best decks in Master Duel. If I genuinely had to pick a fifth deck, this one's gonna be tough. I gotta think for a second. So if I had to pick a fifth one, it would be, well, I guess a sixth one, because I would count Swordsoul. It would have to be between Predaplant and Dragon Link. And the reason why I would say Predaplant is because Predaplant actually does, in theory, become the stronger version of Despia, because it can search fusion cards like your branded fusion, but as well, it can search cards like Super Polymerization to help the board. On top of that, Predaplants can use the Therion package, being able to summon Therion King Regulus to further insulate your combos, making the deck a lot less susceptible to cards like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring when you activate branded fusion. So if I had to give it between those two, it'd probably be Predaplant. I think Predaplant is one of the better decks in Master Duel. It's extremely good when played right, and I think it would probably be the thing to take over the branded, the Despia deck as more of a branded Despia deck with a Therion package, because it will have alternatives to make boards just in case something else does get stopped. But that's all that I have for the top 5 meta decks for Master Duel. I apologize, guys. I guess the tier list came out just a little too early, but that's what I got, and I want to know what you guys think. If you think this tier list is wrong, or if you think that these 5 are wrong, if you think that there are better decks that could be posted down, or if you think that I missed a particular deck. Of course, if you want to see more Master Duel Cali content, be sure to check out these videos, and if you want to see casual Cali or regular Cali, you can go ahead and check out these particular channels, as I'll catch you on the next one.